toys, and now croquet sets? What one local library is doing to help you save money.
And what you should do if you see baby animals that look abandoned.
In-depth, insightful, innovative Cronkite NewsWatch starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite NewsWatch. I'm Tara Molina.
And I'm Dom DeFurio. Thanks for joining us tonight.
The Arizona Senate made additional budget cuts to a budget plan that the House passed just last week.
Brittany Vermillion was down at the Capitol and has more information about the ongoing debate.
The back-and-forth budget battle landed in the Senate today, where they voted to delete some extra spending House Republicans tagged on last week. These cuts include eliminating Medicare coverage for insulin pumps and for emergency dental. Senators say while these things are valuable, there's just no room for them in the budget. Last week, the House added more than $54 million in overall spending to the previous Senate plan. Today, the Senate proposed amendments to cut almost all that extra spending. Funding for charter schools was cut from $33 million to $16.5 million, and university funding was reduced by $2.75 million. Senators say we just can't spend the money we don't have.
You hear people clamoring just for more spending. On the other side of the aisle, frankly, and on our side, we're trying to say, no, we can't spend more money than we make.
The Senate did pass the budget. Now it goes back to the House again and eventually the governor. However, Governor Jan Brewer says that with the Senate's cuts today, she may veto the budget. Live in the Media Center, Brittany Vermillion, Cronkite News.
The proposed Phoenix budget could mean cuts to dozens of programs residents depend on. The public is invited to attend community budget hearings to discuss the proposed city manager's trial budget and provide input and ideas. Council members and staff will answer questions and talk about specific district issues. The first ones take place tonight at 6 at 3 Valley locations: Phoenix College, Helen Drake Senior Center, and Cesar Chavez High School.
The tipped minimum wage hasn't increased for 23 years. So when one restaurant increased its minimum wage, they got a visit from Vice President Joe Biden. Reporter Mackenzie Scott has the story from our nation's capital.
When Vice President Joe Biden recently went to Florida Avenue Grill, it wasn't just for the soul food. It's part of the White House's latest push to increase the minimum wage. Biden was on hand as Florida Avenue Grill announced that they were increasing its tipped minimum wage to $3.77 an hour, a leap from the federal minimum of $2.13. Florida Avenue Grill manager Shonda Stewart says it just made business sense.
Employees who make livable wages can sustain more comfortable living environments, which makes them happier employees, which translates into happier customers, which the bottom line is just good business.
President Barack Obama believes that not just the tipped wage needs to be increased, but that there should be a higher minimum wage for all workers. According to new numbers released by the White House, 541,000 people from Arizona alone will benefit if the minimum wage raises. Cinema says Arizona is relatively good, but can be better.
Arizona is in a slightly better position than some states in the country. In 2006, we passed a voter-approved initiative to increase the minimum wage annually, indexed to inflation. But it's nowhere near enough to make a living.
According to one labor policy analyst, James Shirk, increasing the minimum wage makes it harder for employers to hire workers.
Employers are already struggling with higher costs because of Obamacare and the employer mandate, and it's already a very rough economy. If you add in a minimum wage increase, you make it even more expensive to hire full-time workers. How are employers supposed to respond except by letting workers go?
But Stewart believes a higher minimum wage will fix staff retention.
Our costs are really high with regard to staff turnover. We feel as though by supporting an increased minimum wage for our tipped employees, we're supporting long-term, more professional, and happier staff members.
President Obama signed an executive order to increase the minimum wage for federal contractors, but in order to raise the minimum wage for all workers, he'll need Congress behind him. Live in Washington, Mackenzie Scott, Cronkite News.
With graduation and prom season just around the corner, Mothers Against Drunk Driving launched a 21-day campaign today, hoping to decrease the number of fatalities associated with underage drinking. The organization is using the month of April to urge parents to take action and educate their teens on all risks associated with alcohol.
Though it may not always seem like it, kids are listening. But what parents say and how they say it can make a difference. And that's why we're here today, to help parents understand what to say to keep their kids safe.
On April 21st, MAD will host free online sessions on their website for parents to learn ways to approach their teens. The sessions will last 30 minutes and be offered in both English and Spanish.
April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and AAA Arizona is calling on the legislature to pass 2 bills that will limit the use of cell phones while driving. 37 states ban new drivers from using cell phones when they're behind the wheel, but Arizona isn't one of them. Senate Bill 1168 and House Bill 2359 both aim to restrict young Arizona's drivers' use of cell phones, but neither bill has passed yet. Linda Gorman of AAA Arizona said today, "We're puzzled as to why lawmakers aren't making this more of a priority this session. We know that these laws do work. It's been proven state after state after state." Senate Bill 1168 passed through the Rules Committee today, and House Bill 2359 is currently stalled in the Senate. Both would stop new drivers from using cell phones behind the wheel.
A new report released by the Casey Foundation found that Arizona's minority students are falling behind when it comes to education. Reporter Shane Dwyer met with teachers in a classroom where they're looking to change the stats.
For Carolina Ortega, this classroom in South Phoenix is where her heart is.
If you dance, they dance. If you, whatever you do, whatever you teach them, they take it.
Her passion for giving students a better chance at a successful education started early. Her own daughter played and interacted with other kids in a program for low-income students 16 years ago.
She was 4 years old, and I was looking for a program, and I found out about Head Start.
No matter what part of the globe these students are from or what socioeconomic background they were raised in, Head Start lays an educational foundation for future success.
I
think that this program is going to help reinforce the idea that in their future they won't see school as a difficult thing, rather as somewhere where they go to learn with joy and it's easy for them.
The city of Phoenix is making their annual push to get more at-risk preschoolers in the classroom, coming on the heels of a report that says Arizona's minority students are falling behind.
Our Head Start and Early Head Start program really prepares children with school readiness skills.
That report found that Latino and other minority children are doing worse compared to other children in Arizona and across the country, something Head Start wants to change.
Comprehensive preschool program that not only focuses on education, but focuses on the whole child.
And with Arizona's future economy on the line, Ortega knows that these fun and games could be the key to our success.
If they attend preschool, Head Start, in this case, they are more likely to graduate from college.
In Phoenix, Shane Dwyer, Cronkite News.
And there was one highlight of the report for educators to be proud of. While most minorities are lagging compared to the national average, Arizona's African American students are doing better than African Americans nationwide.
Coming up on NewsWatch.
Libraries have always been around to let you borrow books without having to buy them, but one lets you borrow other stuff as well.
People in Tucson don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Instead, they put that water to good use for the environment.
Imagine being stranded.
Feeding 16,000 points for the...
From TV banks to computers.
Cronkite NewsWatch starts right now.
Kiss me. That's my kind of man. You've been creating quite a stir.
The winter you've been waiting for is on PBS.
You must choose either death or life.
All the drama.
There's going to be changes at Downton.
It's getting harder to say no.
The adventure.
The waves are breaking all around us.
And the spectacle of nature.
We're going to show how special these animals are.
Come in from the cold. Support the one place that can take you any place.
NewsWatch is one of the really big things I will always remember for the rest of my life.
You're lugging around all of your equipment, you are doing all of the work, and that's what makes it so fulfilling to me.
Being an anchor, I think it's a privilege. I enjoy every moment of it.
Seeing your show on air, it is one of the most surreal feelings ever.
When you want to read a book without having to spend money, you can go to the library.
But one city library is expanding its services to include things you wouldn't expect to find. Reporter Sophia Solis found out what else you can check out with a library card.
Mesa Library's 4 branches want to help people have fun without having to spend money.
It's a great way for people to try things before they buy it and see if they enjoy it. You know, people are watching their economy.
Now, with just a library card,
you have access to things like this duffel bag, which includes sports equipment like a croquet set, a football, and a frisbee.
And to some library visitors, the service is a sign of the city's dedication to people on a budget.
It seems like they're just putting that extra effort to show yeah, we care about the community. You know, we want more activity involved in the city.
The library, which lets you check out the equipment for a week, says it's focusing on expanding its role, even though its goal has always been to enrich people's lives.
We do want to kind of break through that perception because really the library is about your life. It's about making a difference in your life.
A difference with books, movies, and now even croquet sets. In Mesa, Sophia Solis, Cronkite News.
Pretty soon, you'll also be able to rent cake pans and other cooking equipment for that special occasion.
It's the latest thing making waves in Tucson. Reporter Lauren Wells went south to learn more about gray water. Lauren, what can you tell us?
No secret that rain is rare. I spent the day in Tucson and learned how residents and businesses aren't sweating it. They're taking water from their baths, using it to water their plants, and saving money along the way.
This half-acre of land doesn't run on ordinary water.
Gray water is the typically once used water that we then send down our drains. So that would be not all drains, but the bathroom sink, bathtub, shower, and washing machine.
Brad Lancaster has turned his Tucson yard into a gray water oasis, and now that city is trying to encourage others to follow his lead.
Gray water harvesting saves you money. It can lead to a healthier, more verdant, beautiful landscape. If you've got fruit trees and whatnot, it can lead to more fruit production. And it also reconnects you with where things come from and where things go.
Tucson is the first city in Arizona to encourage residents to rethink reusing what is in scarce supply.
We really need to become much more efficient and creative at how we reuse multiple times, cycle multiple times what we already have.
Not far from Brad, Reed Park Zoo is also using gray water.
It catches all the water from our sinks, and we utilize that as underground to supplement the vegetation that is around the building itself.
The gray water that Reed Park Zoo uses benefits animals like this one because they get greener vegetation. And as Brad tells me,
you instead use your gray water, well, you can eliminate your current water consumption by 30 to 70% and thus reduce your current water bill by 30 to 70%.
Using gray water can also benefit your bottom line.
Tucson is not only the first city in the state to use gray water, but they are also the only one to do so. I'm Lauren Wells, Cronkite News.
Coming up on NewsWatch.
When you see a cute, helpless animal all alone, the urge to pick it up might be overwhelming, but that may not be in their best interest.
Going to cool off a little before we warm right back up. Find out in your weather next.
NewsWatch is one of the really big things I will always remember for the rest of my life.
You're lugging around all of your equipment, you are doing all of the work, and that's what makes it so fulfilling to me.
Being an anchor, I think it's a privilege. I enjoy every moment of it.
Seeing your show on air, it is one of the most surreal feelings ever.
What if we could unlock every mystery?
We're at the beginning of a revolution. That's a huge discovery.
That's never been done before, ever, anywhere.
No one feeds on curiosity like PBS. Give to your PBS station so future generations can keep asking, what if?
I am a chef. I cook for a living. And I think of PBS as a window to the world. That kind of place where you feel you are part of the story. I want to be part of every possible world is out there. That's when things become really amazing. And when you are able to see stories that make you wonder, makes you think, that's what really makes PBS so meaningful. And that's the kind of TV we need to be supporting today.
The bald eagles at Lake Pleasant failed to breed this season, so the Arizona Game and Fish Department is reopening this area of the lake. The department closes several locations statewide to protect bald eagle nesting sites from human disturbance, which can cause the mother eagles to leave her eggs uncovered and cause the eaglets to fly out too early. The other sites around the state are continuing breeding efforts and remaining closed.
With the weather warming up, there are lots of new babies starting to appear. Reporter Taylor Bryant went to one wildlife conservation center to find out more.
That's right, Dom. We're talking about babies with paws and wings. Although these cuddly little creatures may look abandoned, they aren't. And there could be negative consequences for trying to save them.
Good boy. Oh, you're so good.
After his mother died, Tocho the mountain lion was taken and sold as a pet. If he were left alone, he might have survived in the wild on his own.
Then people think, I can make this into a pet. You know, if I love it and cuddle and feed it, it will bond to me, and then I'll have this really cool, animal. That never happens.
Usually, those animals end up in conservation centers like Southwest.
He came upon the buck as a small one-year-old deer, did not immediately see the mother, panicked, swept him up, brought him to us.
But that is exactly what the Arizona Game and Fish Department doesn't want you to do. Although the young wildlife may look abandoned, they aren't, and trying to help or rescue them could have a negative effect.
If you see a baby animal, don't assume that it needs help.
Here in Arizona, taking in wolves, bobcats, mountain lions, and other wildlife creatures is against the law. During this time of year, you see a lot of baby animals, and many people think they're helping the young animals by rescuing them, but they're not.
We get a lot of animals in that could have been released or could have had a chance in the wild, but because of human intervention, now they have to live in an enclosure.
The Arizona Game and Fish Department want you to know the best place to see a wild animal is from a distance.
They call it wildlife for a reason, and that's where they belong, in the wild.
One of the many reasons you see so many young wildlife animals alone is because their mothers are out getting them food, but they will come back. In the east are being hit with still being hit with rain and snow. Looks like their winter is going to carry on into their spring. You can also see the Midwest is being hit with heavy rain and thunderstorms, which cause heavy mudslides over the weekend in the Washington area. Hopefully things start to dry up for them up there. Here in Arizona, though, the storm coming in west will cause us to get some cloud coverage and a little bit of wind, as you can see on the satellite radar, and even maybe a little bit of rain in the high countries. But right now in Phoenix, we're at 77 degrees with partly cloudy skies and winds coming from the west and southwest at about 15 miles per hour. Tonight, though, 50 in Bullhead, 40 in Page, and 34 in Show Low. As we head into tomorrow for the 5-day forecast, we will warm up with a high of 69 on Wednesday and clear skies with a high of 74 on Thursday and clear skies and a high of 78 and partly cloudy skies on Friday. As we head into the weekend, though, we will hit the lower to mid 80s with a high of 80 and mostly cloudy skies on Saturday and a high of 84 and mostly clear skies on Sunday. That's it for your weather. I'm Taylor Bryant.
Coming up on NewsWatch.
We've got the best of opening day around the nation and
it's March Madness.
Find out what else has fans around the valley on the edge of their seats right after this.
A tradition of excellence, integrity, and innovation.
The second I came in, I fell in love with the program.
The Cronkite School propels students into the new era of journalism.
Students are learning.
Digital, entrepreneurial, and collaborative labs encourage students to shape the future of the industry, and the industry is watching.
We have come here to meet with students at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism.
The Cronkite School, the journalism school for the digital age.
What if television could sweep us away to another time and place?
Very nice, my lady.
And could take us from the Gilded Age to the Great War. From the heat of the chase to the heart of a queen. No one tells stories like PBS. Give to your PBS station and help bring stories like these to life. What if television could remember the heroes we honored, the music we danced to, the dreams we chased?
The hope still lives and the dream shall never die.
No one tells our nation's story like PBS. Give to your PBS station and help bring America's story to life.
Now, opening day may not be a national holiday, but that doesn't mean we can't appreciate it. So here are the top 5 moments of opening day. At number 5, Yadier Molina deals the Cards a good hand. In a scoreless tie in the 7th, Molina facing Cueto, and look at it go. Why not? That's all Ludwig can do. Cards fold the Reds 1-0. Then at number 4, Jimmy Rollins takes a milestone and makes it even more memorable. Phils lead the Rangers 2-0, and the second base is jammed. 2 down, and Rollins says, "I'm not just good, I'm grand." The grand slam is Rollins' 200th career home run. Phillies win 14-10. At number 3, we have an unexpected reaction from the fans. In Milwaukee, Ryan Braun steps up for his first at-bat of the season, and here come the Boo Birds. Wait, what? They're cheering? Good for Ryan. No one deserves to get booed at home anyways. Now, coming in second, we have to go to New York, and remember, opening day can be somber. In Flushing, original Met Hall of Famer and broadcast legend Ralph Kiner was immortalized. They placed his name and logo above the left field fence with the retired numbers of other Mets greats. Kiner passed away earlier this year. He was 91. And topping off our list of opening day moments, number 1, Major League history. Back to Milwaukee, Braun hits a chop to third and is called safe at first. Freddie Gonzalez comes out, gets the signal from the dugout, makes the challenge. Umpires review the call. Braun clearly out. They make the right call. It is the first successful video challenge in Major League history. And they didn't make the top 5, but the D-backs did play last night. Well, at least for 5 innings they did. The Diamondbacks looking for their first win of the season, up 6-2 in the 6th. And can you say snake-bitten? Brandon Belton belts a solo shot to right field. And fast forward to the 9th inning, tie game, MVP Buster Posey at the plate. I'll give you one guess at what he does. Yup, so long, but wait. Bottom of the inning, Montero goes yard. And the D-backs all of a sudden have a chance to tie the game. But sadly, they don't. The Giants win 9-8, and the D-backs are 0-3 to start the season. And from opening day to a playoff race, the Yotes play a must-win game tonight against Winnipeg to stay ahead of Dallas for the 8th and final playoff slot. Now, Lions, Bears, oh my, it just doesn't have the same ring to it, and neither will the Masters. Tiger Woods announced he is getting surgery for a pinched nerve in his back and will not play in the Masters. This opens the field for my dark horse, Graham DeLay, who was 1 putt away from winning the Phoenix Open back in February. Now, it isn't the Masters, but every year it creates a lot of buzz. I take a look at a sport where brain always beats brawn.
May I have the language of origin?
They may not look like athletes, but for these kids, it is game day.
I'm just trying to be in it to win it.
I want to try my best to win.
They stand in front of packed crowds under bright studio lights and attempt to feat most of us struggle with every day. Yep, spelling.
E-T-E-E-R, stocketeer.
And for them, this sound means they are wrong, and their day is done.
May I please have it in a sentence?
I think this is a good opportunity to show their dedication and their hard work.
To some, spelling isn't considered a sport, but with a book of possibilities this thick, others say the B should get more recognition.
Sports are hard. You have to work hard for it. Isn't the spelling bee the same thing? You have to work hard for it. It's not all fun.
This is almost as exciting as March Madness.
And just like March Madness, there's an Elite Eight, a Final Four, a finals bout, and then only one.
That is correct.
Can be the champion. Neela DeHinniker won this year's B and will represent Arizona in the Scripps National Spelling Bee in Washington, D.C. in May. And if you're wondering, her winning word was salvific, and it means leading to salvation. Hey, Dom, I'll give you one chance to spell salvific.
Oh, I would definitely not be able to spell that if it weren't for the fact that I just saw it on the teleprompter when you were reading it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I don't want to spoil it.
There's absolutely no way any of us could spell that word.
Yeah,
I don't think. Ask me in 5 minutes,
You too,
I'll
Jeff.
forget.
Me either.
That's it for Cronkite NewsWatch. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good evening.